Standing desks are a great addition into any kind of workspace, but they go well and make sense for gamers in gaming setups. In today's video, I'm hoping to answer this question as to whether or not a standing desk is beneficial for a gamer or a live streamer, content creator who spends a large amount of time at a gaming setup workspace. We'll be talking about things like ergonomics, the health factors, the benefits, the pros, the cons, everything in this video today. Let's get started. Welcome to the channel, excited to have you with me to talk about standing desks today. So for a little bit of context, I've had a standing desk in my gaming setup for the better part of 2 years now. And in my personal opinion, a standing desk has been one of the best investments I've made into my overall health and just general well-being at my workspace. In terms of investments that I've made at my workspace for my health and well-being is the standing desk and my Herman Miller chair. Other things include, wrist mats, keyboard mats, and things of that nature, but you can't get a lot bigger of an investment than a standing desk or a chair. And I've already made a video talking about the benefits of an ergonomic chair, so here we are talking about the benefits of an ergonomic standing desk. So first and foremost, we need to talk about the price. The price of a standing desk can vary from not too bad online, secondhand, or just buying the parts and then buying the desk separately. That's what I did, and can then get quite pricey into the thousands of dollars if you're buying it from a branded company with the desk and fully built and whatnot. If you shop around, you should be able to find something at a decent price point that gets all of your needs. You can get standing desks in L shapes or just straight regular desk sizes. It's totally up to you how you would like to do your standing desk arrangement. One thing that I love with standing desks becoming more readily accessible is the customization options on them now. Originally, when I did get my first standing desk, I had a black gloss top on my desk. I thought this looked fantastic and looked amazing for photos and whatnot, but it wasn't very practical. Plus, now I've turned to loving the look of a wooden desk, so it was really nice being able to take the top of my desk off because it was from two different sections, it was from two different manufacturers, and being able to just swap them out really easily. This is not going to be the case for all. If you buy it all put together or from one brand, you may potentially not be able to do this. But let's now get into the benefits of the actual use of the standing desk. I use my standing desk almost every single day when I'm working at my desk. There's not a time that I can think about where I haven't gone and used my standing desk when I've been at my desk. If you know anything about the 20-20-20 rule for vision, where every 20 minutes you take a 20-second break and look 20 meters away from your computer or computer screen or phone or whatever, you should be applying a similar rule with your sitting at your desk. And that's something that I've done. I haven't stick to this letter of 20 minutes for 20 seconds or anything along those nature because that's just not very practical when you're trying to work. But say every hour, hour and a half or something, getting up and putting your desk up for 30 minutes or something like that to get some work done is a great break from being seated all the time. Before this, I used to just get up and just go for a walk around the house, and I still do this, and I still would encourage you to not just stand at your desk all day as well when you do get a standing desk. But it is a really nice break for your body to just get back up, stand up, and to support you health-wise. I'm not going to get into the specifics of the health benefits because that's for a health professional to do. I'm only going to share my experiences today. Little piece of advice if you do go with a standing desk is to invest in a floor mat. I have an ergonomic floor mat under my feet that I use, and I just pull out from underneath my desk. It just sits under my desk. I place it on the floor and I stand on it, and it cushions your feet. So that way you're not standing just on the solid ground for 2 or 3 hours when you're standing, and it gives you good support your entire way up your back and legs. Something else great about it is that you're able to program the standing desk to whatever you want, to whatever height you need it to be at. I myself am about 6'2", 6'3", so I'm taller than most people, I'd say, or at least I think I am. So with a standing desk, I had a concern that was it going to be able to cater to my needs? Was it going to be able to max out at a height that was still going to be too low for me? I was pleasantly surprised to find that I was able to customize it to my heart's content and bring it to a height that was perfect for me. And I can even go higher if I so choose. But with my standing desk, I've got 3 buttons on my standing desk for 3 different height profiles. Number 1 is for my sitting height, where I will sit at my desk. Number 2 is for my standing height, and number 3, I don't have a profile set for, but I can program it for whatever I need it to. Another little advantage that I never kind of really thought about with the standing desk, but it actually makes a lot of sense, is the added ability to tidy up your cables a lot easier. Now you're probably thinking, why? How does that make sense? Let me explain it. It can be really difficult crawling under your desk and getting under your desk and having to tie all your cables to a cable tray or things like that, because you don't have a lot of room. It can be dark, you can't see. If you've got a standing desk, just throw your desk up to the standing height and get under the desk that way. You've got far more room. You've got far more room for a full-on light in there to be able to see, and you've got more headroom so you can be comfortable while doing it, making the process much easier. I've taken my desk apart and out of my room, moving it into different rooms and things like that so many times, and having a standing desk that's motorized and being able to put it up makes my life that much easier when cable managing and putting my desk together. Now, do they make sense for gaming setups? This is kind of the question that kind of spurred this video. I'm gonna just go flat out and say yes. Gaming has this negative stigma with it that people just sit on the couch and just play video games all day, or sit at their desk and play video games all day, and yes, that is in some cases the case. It's not in all the cases, but a lot of people will find themselves going back on this video and going, wow, I actually do sit at my desk all day. Like, I don't walk around or anything like that. I was certainly in that position, and now I'm out of it. Throwing in this variable of a standing desk really made me more aware to all of the other ergonomic factors in my life. Just like I said with the Herman Miller chair that I discussed many months ago, the Herman Miller made me more aware to the other ergonomic errors that I was making. It made me readjust my monitor height. It made me look into getting wrist mats for my wrist when my hands were getting sore from leaning on my mouse all day. Things like standing desks and ergonomic chairs make you more aware of your surroundings and the things you may potentially not be doing greatly. Gaming standing may not necessarily be for everyone. It might not be the most comfortable, but it is certainly great to take a break from sitting all the time and get a bit of a standing session in. Whether you play FIFA, Fortnite, or whatever, try it out, you know, see whether or not it's up your alley and if it works for you. Works for me personally because I can get, you know, some stretching going on, you know, in the loading screens, I can stretch. Or now I've got to talk about the cons or negatives of standing desks in gaming setups, or more broadly. Obviously the con can be the price, that if you're not shopping around, the major manufacturers for standing desks can be quite expensive. But the price factor, as I discussed before, can be worked around if you shop around. I was able to get my standing desk in two parts, the top of the desk, like the actual wood or piece of the desk, and then the motorized part separate, and we were able to save a ton of money by doing it that way. One of the cons also can be the weight of the desk. As it's got a motor in it and the legs need to be a little bit heavier to support all of your PC and everything on your desk, even at a standing height, it does have to have a little bit more weight behind it in order to support it. So this can make it a little bit difficult when you're trying to maybe move house, move it into a different room, put it together even, actually moving it. Once you get over that hurdle of first moving it, it's not too bad, but initially it is very heavy. This is something as well that I don't really see discussed enough when it comes to standing desks as well, but we also need to talk about the fact of it wobbling. Now, this could very well put you off of a standing desk altogether. It has not put me off, but I know it will probably put some off. As the standing desk doesn't have a major support under it. It's got the two legs, of course, or maybe three if you've got a corner desk or a big desk. As it doesn't have a major support in a really thick leg or a firm base on it, if you bump your desk or you put it up or you do something to it, you'll often find that it'll wobble. I was finding this pretty quickly on with my standing desk when I first got it, that when I was typing away on my keyboard, potentially maybe a little bit harder, the desk would wobble from time to time. And this is not great, because with that means my monitors would wobble with it too, meaning that everything on my desk was wobbling as a result. I had to try and find a solution to this, and it's very hard to find one. The obvious solution is to put it to the lowest height possible. That does tend to relieve most of it, but the problem is that doesn't service the vast majority of the population. It has to virtually go to almost floor height in order to be able to fully support itself, or at least mine does. Your one that you may be looking at may not, but it is certainly something to consider. In the end, I've found two solutions to this issue. One, I used to put an old cabinet of drawers underneath the desk on the one side, which gave it a firm support. and it stopped it from causing problems and wobbling too much. However, when I renovated my room in 2020 and made it a little bit better, I took the drawers out and didn't want them there, so I needed to find a different solution. I ended up heading to my local hardware store, Bunnings, and purchasing a wall bracket. Now, you probably are wondering why this is the case. Well, if you mount these to your wall under where your desk would normally sit at its sitting height, and you put a little piece of foam on top of the little wall bracket for the desk to sit on top of the foam, it absorbs the motion and doesn't actually do any of the wobbling anymore. When you are using it at the standing height, it is still going to wobble. It is still something to be very cautious of when using the standing desk. If you're using it at a standing height, be wary of leaning on it, as well as the leaning on it may potentially tip the desk forward. And if you tip the desk too far forward, everything's gonna come crumbling down. Once you make the mistake once, you'll never make it again. Not speaking from experience, I have not lost all of my equipment to it falling off my desk, but it's scary. So the ultimate verdict on standing desks is that I do endorse them wholeheartedly. They may not be for everybody, but as somebody who is constantly at my desk almost every single day of the week, gaming, editing, streaming, doing university work, and any other kind of work, emails, things of that nature, it makes a lot of sense. I'm spending probably anywhere between 12 to 14 hours a day at my desk doing some kind of work, which I know is probably not great, but this has been a very, very helpful thing to making me more aware and health conscious of the things that maybe I might be doing wrong. Buying a standing desk and getting kind of that awareness of your ergonomic issues is a really nice thing, and it's not just something you can just click your fingers and have. Something needs to happen to spur that moment on. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something about standing desks, and if you think they're useful or helpful, and if you're going to be getting one, let me know in the comments section below. I'd love to know, and I'd love to answer any of your questions as well that you have about my personal experience with standing desks or specifications or whatever. If you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel for weekly gaming setup tech videos. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your time zone, and until next time, bye-bye.